Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the ABS show coming straight to you from
New York City.
Okay, if this is your very first time watching us, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and right after the show, go on Instagram and follow us at the ABS show. Don't forget to like and share as well. Spread the word. All right, so let's talk about today's topic, okay? So according to healthline.com, childhood obesity is on a high time rise. Many doctors are blaming parents for this epidemic. So my question to you guys today is childhood obesity caused by bad parenting? What do you guys think?
That's part of it. Even though some part of it is genetic. You know, for example, if you have a parent who's on the big side, definitely you're going to have an offspring who's also on the big side. And also parenting is part of it because, you know, I have somebody who's like a relative to me who the children are like on the big side, and every time they be eating chocolates and everything and stuff, I'm like, yo, watch the kids.
This is gonna be good. This is good.
No, watch the kids like they're like, no, Max, leave my children, I beg. They need to enjoy themselves, everything. You know, they need to enjoy themselves. When I was their age, I didn't see chocolate to eat. I didn't see this one so much. This, that, please, Max. Biko, come. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's what it means, you know. So I'm like, no. So bad parenting is part of it, even though some of it is genetically.
But is that really true with the genetic? Well, listen, I'm not a doctor, but isn't all our bones like the same? Do we have like big bones?
That's what my mother used to tell me.
Yeah, like there's something like big bones. So I feel like that's an excuse people use, but go ahead.
No, it's not really an excuse, you know. Obesity is not really about the bones because the muscles and the bones are all intertwined together. And sometimes some people have fat genes.
Why did they look over here?
I eat, Debbie.
I'm explaining.
Why did you shine your eye over here?
It's all right. I have fat genes.
You didn't shine your eye over here.
Go ahead.
Y'all better tread lightly because we have 3 bottles in
We are big thunderclappers.
On the seat.
What you say?
Okay, I'm sorry. Some people have fat genes. Some people have tall genes. Some people have short genes. So are you trying to tell me now that if a dwarf give birth to a dwarf, it's not genetic?
It's genetic.
It's genetic. Likewise, obesity. So it's medically proven that it's sometimes genetic, but that's not the only reason.
Well, what is obesity then? Because, like, at what point
do you say the person is obese?
At what point do we say that, okay, so this person is obese? And I think technically, with what I've been reading, I don't know if this is true, but if you're 100 pounds over...
Why are you smiling? You're making me laugh. Stop looking at me.
If you're 100 pounds over your weight limit based on your height and your age, then you are getting there. The last time I checked, I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm actually reducing. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I think it can be bad parenting as well. We live in an obese actually world where we have fast food, right? It's all about fast food. We want that quick, right there, and that can also cause like a big.
And the thing about it is though, why is slim right? Though there are people that are overweight,
but
that are very healthy. No, but I'm just saying.
Is that a
because
topic?
why? But the thing about it is like, why is it right? If the person is healthy and they're like a bigger person, why is it a problem how they're eating, right? If they are healthy, if they're not, I understand it being unhealthy when it's unhealthy. Like for instance, the cholesterol is high, blood pressure is high. You have to your heart. That's what you have to work on that. But if it's okay and you're
a skinny person can get all of that, but research has shown that research has shown that when you are a certain weight, then the chances of you getting that is higher. Parents just need to pay enough attention to what their kids are eating. I mean, I think.
But and also it comes to economics. It's cheaper to eat bad than it is to eat good.
So
let's be real.
So eat and die.
No, it's not that. But if you can't afford to buy, what do you call gluten-free this, that, and you have to buy, if you can't buy those organic vegetables and blah, 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 and if you can afford $1 McDonald's sandwich versus paying $20 or $30 for a good meal, it's hard when people are not being paid fair salaries and all of that.
And that is where balance, sets in. Like, for example, recently I started eating rice in small portions. I love rice a lot. I can't do without it, And I was even telling Timothy I was trying to...
Small portions?
Yeah. I was telling Timothy that I was trying to go vegan. And
I know what that is. I'm just saying.
They say you eat a fistful of food.
A fistful of food.
All your food should fit in a fist.
Not a whole
plate.
That can't happen in an African household. Because let me tell you how we eat. You get a nice big bowl of rice. You put the stew on top.
Drench
them with the stew. If you want to get a little healthy, you can add a little salad on the side. Okay, but the salad needs to be drenched in dressing salad, eggs, corned beef, sardines, meat. Oh yes, and Max, I'm not done. You have to have a nice chilled malt.
Yes. Oh my God, I have plenty malt in my fridge, Charlie. You have called me out.
So the thing is, if you cannot afford, the gluten-free, as she said, those ones that you like eating, eat them in small portions. You can have self-control in balancing these things out for yourself.
Max,
That's what I feel like.
Max, yes.
You're talking about you as an adult.
Yes.
For kids, it's a bit different.
Yes.
Parents have that idea that they have to feed their children so that they grow. So in the quest of trying to feed your children so that they grow, they allow them eat in excess.
Yes.
And even when they're not eating, they'll say, this child is not eating. Eat. They'll pile your food up. Sometimes I remember when I was younger, you will cry. My cousins will cry. They don't want it. I like food. I will eat, clear the table, take off, come back and start eating their own. Move, come back, like that.
Wow.
But them, they will sit down there, they won't eat, they will not be begging you, please let me eat my food now. I say, hey, don't worry, Mom. Don't worry. I'll eat it for you. But you give me meat, so we'll bargain. I'll eat the meat and I'll take off. So for those thing, because for children that are young, they want them to grow. So they'll tell them, you have to eat food. If you don't eat, there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
And in that sense, the child might or might not end up being obese, but then we don't know that because of how their inside is made up. Now that's for one type of parent. Another type of parent is the type that they'll put you in front of the TV because they're too busy working and they want you to be distracted. So they will put you in front of the TV and give you something to eat. You don't have any physical activity because outside is bad. They don't want you to go out. They don't want you to go out and get harmed by the world today. So they'll rather be safe. They feel like you're safer being indoors with no activity whatsoever.
We also have to understand that, like in an African household, a child with good appetite, just eating anything that you give them is a sign of healthy. Because you have the strength to eat. Because there are some children that are suffering from pineapple. And what is pineapple? Pineapple, in my definition, is a child that is eating and is not growing.
Or they have worms.
Yes, and that needs to be dewormed. So I think parents don't want that guilt, or they don't want to feel bad, so they just keep feeding them.
But let me ask you a question though. Back home in Africa, even up till now, like if you know fat, if you know like they chop, they chop money.
Yes,
not everywhere, not everywhere, because I'm very slim. So don't say that.
But
that's for real. Like, it's still happening till today.
Everything you guys are saying still boils down to the real question. We're saying parents don't want. So which means the doctors are not wrong. So who is to blame for the excess obesity that's happening right now?
Let me tell you what. When I first came to America, I was slim. I was a thick girl, but I was slimmer. But as soon as I started eating that American food, eating Jolly Ranchers, eating the processed food, eating crab sticks from a Chinese store that I don't know what was in it because it's not real crab. So eating all the Chinese. No, why?
No, because we're talking about child obesity.
Yeah, but I'm sick. So you're sick. Yeah. So when you come in and then I gained weight, I became I got bigger really fast because the food is injected with a lot.
What did your mom say? What was your mom's input?
You're so beautiful. You should lose weight. That's what she said.
She wasn't to an extent responsible
it wasn't
for
also my mom's food. My mother cooked every day in the house, but I would want to eat outside. I want to eat McDonald's. I want to eat American food. I want to eat pizza.
And if you get denied of that, what you're gonna give your mom attitude. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna feel bad, and they don't want that. We are blaming. For me, I'm blaming the parents as well because personally, I like big babies. I like fat babies. I don't know about you. I like them chubby.
Little cherubs.
I love them with you see the legs that were put up. Yeah. I love fat babies like that. If babies are skinny, then it moves to kwashiorkor. I don't know if you guys know what kwashiorkor is. Kwashiorkor is. That's when they are skinny and they are big. Yes. And some parents do dismiss that. When they see a chubby baby, they say, "Oh, there's a little baby fat." They will get out of it. But kids don't shrink; they grow. So the more you're feeding into it, that will happen.
Some babies that are chunky monkeys, and they get to a stage
when they start walking,
they'll take ill and they will just stretch. They will lose all that weight and become very skinny and stretch tall. So parents, a lot of times when they see their babies like that, they will say, no, leave them. The picking go see. If you don't reach what's it now, it go tall. Like they'll tell you, they say that fatness translates into being tall.
Yeah.
So they allow it. Now, for a lot of them, when you get to a certain stage where the fatness is the weight is still on there, they say, no, that big picking, now better picking. The society sees children that are chubby, as wealthy children from wealthy homes that are well fed.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's okay.
Yeah.
They let it be. You're not looking to make sure that they engage more in their physical activities in school or even watch what they eat.
But some of these kids are picky eaters. I don't know if you guys have met kids like that. Like the parents do try and give them vegetables and the fruit. Even Michelle Obama tried to introduce that to America, right? With the healthy apple, eat an apple instead of cookie. Look at this kid right here.
Yeah.
Like, come
Enjoyment.
on.
But Charlie,
So
that
the
depends,
parents are trying.
Yeah, that depends though on the food that you started raising them up with.
Yes.
They don't just grow up and start getting picky and start choosing whatever they want to eat. It depends on the
What
food what they started with, what the parents actually started them with.
You know, my friend
when the baby was in the stomach.
My friend has a 3-year-old baby, and shout out to, I'm not even going to mention her name. You're not a bad parent, but this is just me.
Okay. Charlie.
He
didn't mention her name.
I didn't mention her name. It could be
But
anybody.
there's so many friends of his that might have the baby. They'll be deciphering.
She gives the baby milk. A big bottle of milk, warm.
Say calcium. She wants the baby to grow.
Every night before the baby goes to bed. Every night and every morning. So every time I call on FaceTime drinking milk, I'm like, how long are you going to... And the baby's getting plumper and plumper every day, child. Right. But according to her, if she doesn't do that, the baby start hurting himself, like start hitting.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because he wants that. He wants the...
Well, she started it, like he said, so it's her fault. So she's to blame. But my only input is that, fine, don't deprive your child of meal because they are still kids. But I think you should subscribe to 3 square meal snack once a day.
For a child?
Yeah.